What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 3 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Elspeth von Draken Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have arrived not quite in Sylvania, but at least near it at the moot, defending the halflings that live there and trying to keep the breadbasket of the Empire in our hands. We'll probably get a solid sort of mileage out of the landmark here if we can protect it enough from the vampires. Unfortunately, we did tear down several vampiric armies last time, as while in march stance, Elspeth von Draken was attacked by Vlad and, well, several of his armies all at once. We did manage to survive. Our HP on our army is still looking relatively okay, minus the damage primarily suffered to the Free Companies and a little bit to the Outriders, basically the units that were responsible for most of the running and gunning we did as we retreated. And now, that was an interesting battle last episode. I think that was a good showcase of needs must. We had to do the whole run and gun thing, primarily because we were in march stance, and while obviously facing off against multiple armies is an issue, it wouldn't have been nearly as much if we hadn't suffered all that vigor loss, and we probably could have just deployed with a standard battle. Anyway, we also got to see the Knights of the Black Rose in action for the first time as we took on the Changeling in a cinematic fight, and hopefully we'll get to see plenty more of them as we go. And now in terms of what we got to do this time, we'll tear down the remains of the vampiric armies and start moving through the enemy's territories. Fort Oberstein, Castle Templehof, and Drakenhof, all of this hopefully to be taken down, and perhaps more importantly, we are at level 14 and getting close to that CARMINE dragon for Elspeth. Can't wait to see this thing on the field and how effective it is with that Graveyard Rose regeneration. After Sylvania, we'll also have to think about how we want to do things. Obviously, the Empire is in absolute shambles up in the north, and Kazrak and Festus are both being an issue. However, there is, since we're down here already, there is a good reason perhaps to move southward and knock out the ogres. A, because the border princes have some decent territory, a lot of trade goods and port access. B, because I really like the Akendorf position. Being on the other side of Blackfire Pass here, which historically sort of protects the Empire, allows us to essentially preemptively take on anything that tries to move up here, greenskins and Scarbrand and undead and rats and whatnot, as they will likely attack Akendorf rather than anything else. And usually Akendorf gets picked up by the Disciples of the Maw pretty darn quick, so it's a pretty good option. Plus there's proximity to Bergvar and Karazakarak as well, and establishing proper borders for the Empire is quite nice. But anyway, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's get to the actual doing of all that stuff rather than the planning. Elspeth, so we got, I believe, the unlock of the Sterling's Revenge Free Company, and have I mentioned I love Free Company? Merge selected units of these two, and I will replace one of them with the Sterling's Revenge. A little bit of cost, but it's a stronger unit that's a little bit more capable in melee and does have armor piercing as well, which is nice. That, I believe, is good, so let's upgrade you. I guess let's get you Black Powder Discipline, power you up personally just a teensy bit more. And then Elspeth, we gotta just keep leveling through the tree here. Faded Buna, Purple Sun, all of that stuff, especially if we want to use Magisterics of the Amethyst Order. And now, in terms of Doom and Darkness versus Aspect of the Dread Knight, frankly, I don't care for either of the two spells, or at least I rarely do, but we already have a basic version of the Aspect of the Dread Knight available to us. On the very rare occasions that we actually end up using it, it may be better to get Doom and Darkness, just because we don't have a variant of it already. And then if we have points to spare, we'll get all the other things. We'll spam Spirit Leech and Soul Blight constantly, and then occasionally use Fate of Biuna and Purple Sun, so Aspect of the Dread Knight and Doom and Darkness have to take the sort of back foot, back line, whatever. Anyway, that's what we're doing. Let's double check our items. I just want to make sure that we're powered up enough for a couple of auto-resolves against the remnants of last Vlad's forces. You have those Fencer's Blades, and I think considering you weren't really capable of fighting the vampires, so let's keep that on you. And we don't have an enchanted item of any kind. Camp Follower, relevant to us. I think the rest of that is fine. What about you? I guess we'll give you one of the, well, the Luckstone Talisman, and we can't give you the armor or anything else, so the rest of that is fine. Alrighty, next up, Elspeth, you're going to kill off Mr. Gustav here, who's one of the remnants here. And then Caspar and I imagine we probably won't be able to reach Vlad. Let's find out. If he moves to Schwarzhofen, that also works quite well for us. Praise Sigmar, pardon captives. You know what, let's praise Sigmar, especially considering it's so little money, and yeah, we can't reach Vlad. We could reach Schwarzhofen, but then they just take the moot, so that doesn't really do us any favors, to be honest. Alright, auto-resolve this as well. Hopefully not too much damage. 0. Fantastic. Another 175 gold, and we'll take the money. Hopefully this will allow us to be fully healed up by the time we hit Schwarzhofen. Then we'll pop ourselves into ambush stance, even though we really need to channel, because Elspeth needs mana. But we might be able to catch Vlad again, especially as this wooded territory allows us for 80% ambush, which is pretty good. So go right here. And then hopefully he'll try to go for the moot with what remains. 90% damage. Alright, don't screw us on this game. Amber Trance. Wait, did we have anything else? We have a Scroll of Power, right? The cooldown decrease is fine, but considering how much mana we have, I'd rather fuse these and hopefully get something better. Another armor of silvered steel. Not a great thing. Frankly, once we have more stuff, I'll probably fuse those, though I do have a tendency to give them to low-armored stuff like battle wizards, so yeah. Alright, Elspeth, you stay there. Looks like that gave us another level for Mr. Lupio here. And all-terrain vehicles still remains useless to us, though we will have amethyst land ships, and steam tanks, and all sorts of crazy crap in this army, so it'll all come in very handy later on. Speaking of crazy crap, did take another look at the Imperial Gunnery School upgrades here, and I'm very interested by this. We've got snipe and stalk attributes via camouflage netting that applies to the war wagon mortars, not just the regular mortars, which could, well, also let's get this upgrade, which could be pretty neat, generally speaking. A sniping, stalking, mortar war wagon, eh? I really like the idea. I think we could do some fun things with those. And there may be some other really fun upgrades. For example, the grape shot upgrade for the cannon, which I assume will work like the Sartosa carronades and work as a sort of, or is it SFO Sartosa carronades? It's sort of like a close range switch for the great cannons, which will make great cannons so much more useful. And I like that. And the monstrous impact is already doing nicely for them. Anyway, we might as well keep spending our schematics as we have to go for 3 more upgrades. Alright, it's gonna take a while, but it's fine. We do have some Outriders, so let's get them Speed and Strider. This will help them kite a little bit more, should they need to run away from vampires yet again. The rest of these guys we don't have. So I guess we'll upgrade what we do have for now. It's not like we don't have a few turns still to wait until the foundry is upgraded, so we may as well keep upgrading. As for what, I guess we can keep upgrading the Hellstorm. I'd be tempted by this, but it's not super useful until we have war wagons with mortars to replace the regular mortars, so yeah. And this is just a straight up 25%. That's not bad either. An additional projectile versus 25. You know what, let's do the upgrade on the cannon. Otherwise, I feel like I focus the Hellstorm rocket batteries too much, and they're that good, but, you know. Anyway, next up, Mootland. Let's not collect the income here. You're already suffering from all the nonsense that's been happening to you, and we're not going to repair it as yet because there's a decent likelihood that it gets retaken, so we'll repair it when we need to later on. Needling is kind of in the same place, probably going to get attacked by something, so I'm just not going to invest in it as yet, and we need to pay attention to the rest. Unfortunately, our public order is still very much in issue due to the Confederation, and we could really use the additional Imperial authority, but the northern portion of the Empire is completely screwing us over. Now, assuming there's nothing to do diplomacy-wise, I believe we're good to go to end the turn and keep up with the conquest. Lovely. Garrison Lord, a damaged building, building upgrade, and the turn. And once again, while the turn is ending, it looks like we did reach the engagement threshold last time around, so we'll be doing roughly an hour-long episode this time, rather than the standard 30 to 40-minute ones. And, of course, the offer does still stand until the 5th episode at least. 400 likes and 60 comments, I believe I said. And the cult discovered, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. So let's burn down these cults. They keep costing us money, but what can you do? And I guess we should upgrade Wort Bed while we're at it. And also the reason I mentioned the 5th episode is that's when I usually lower the engagement threshold. Research 8 technologies and gain Talisman of Protection and Preservation, I should say. And Helm of Discord, very nice. This was some nice items. Also, Vlad. We didn't quite catch him in an ambush, but he is not in a good position, and I imagine he won't be able to run. And we'll auto-resolve him this time, because there's... Oh, or will we? He is going to be near Schwarzhofen this time, but there's basically nothing at Schwarzhofen. Probably not worth fighting this again. Let's see. See what he's got here. Yeah. This is like a quarter of the battle we fought last time, and we took like, I don't know, 20 to 25% damage to our army last time. Fighting 4 times as many? I don't think so. Sorry, Vlad. It's just not worth it. 87 losses, and we can heal ourselves up to full, which we'll do because the money gained is relatively minimal. And go to Schwarzhofen next, please. And, oh right, the dead rose again, and why does the Frostfire gem keep leaving the engineer? I'm actually not entirely sure that it's working, because I've been seeing this guy volley at enemies, and I didn't see that Frostfire speed reduction, but I might have missed it. Though I do like the idea of fire damage increase. I love my fire armies, and we are certainly going to borrow some fire units from our dwarven friends to build one later on. Alright, especially combined... Hey, Grundle's Defenders. Especially combined with the Knights of the Blazing Sun out of the chapter house here at Talabaim. They fit in nicely with our... What the heck? This is an ogre, tree hammers. Huh. The heck, Northern Empire? What are you doing? And they've moved south of the River Reich now as well. Everything north of the River Reich is expected to be in shambles, but now they're moving south of the river. It's an issue. Hey, a mechanical steed for Lupio. I am excited to see how these guys look. Another Amber Trance that we just deleted. Fine, fine, fine. And while we are not yet within striking distance of Sylvania, or unfortunately Fort Oberstyre, we should be able to, or Drakenhof rather, we should be able to take it over the next couple turns, and then move to grab these, hopefully before they loop around to get the moot. We don't need a training field here, and we don't need to collect the income here. Also, I wonder how our dwarven friends are doing in the mountains. Also, I take it we'll need to destroy Draika because she's holding Imperial territories, but Draika is best girl, so that's kind of unfortunate. I always hesitate to destroy Draika. She was the best. You know how allies are useless in this game? For those of you who didn't watch my Vlad campaign, Vampire Counts not only are my favorite faction, but that was the only campaign where I found an AI ally genuinely super useful. Draika just kept helping out. It was incredible, and I'm still blown away by it. That's how an ally should feel, and yeah, it'll be sad to have to destroy them. I wonder if the Imperial Authority works if you hold them as a military ally, but I imagine not. But anyway, we'll see. Constructor Zintler. You're going to be holding on to these guys. They're not super useful, but they don't cost much, so just in case something attacks here, we should probably keep them. Let's see if there's anything to build other than that. Stirland and Solland. Ooh, Fildorf, yes. And we'll go for the Fildorf Wine Market. And while we'll keep the growth for now, as soon as the Confederation ends, we'll start collecting income here and probably have to replace Host Vestag here. I'm also tempted to replace the fields with a public order building, despite the cost of growth, but we could do that in a couple of turns as well. We'll need public order everywhere, clearly. Alright, and I believe that's it. Well, let's keep on moving to Castle Drakenhof, assuming that there's nothing to do. We could get the trade agreement with Zufbar and with Karakharn. They will always hate us because of Durthu. I'm kind of disinclined to say no to trade agreements just because of Durthu, but he is kind of a maniac, and I don't want to piss him off too much. Maybe we'll do one of them. Let's do you. Non-aggression, and you know what? Honestly, we may need to pass through the territory of Zufbar to get to enemies here, like if the Red Eye tribe are still alive, or to get to Skarsnik, just to sort of preemptively prevent them from annoying us. So, let's do that. We can always break the agreements just to keep Durthu happy. All right, let's see if that pissed him off. He shouldn't know Zufbar yet. Yeah, so he doesn't like our past treaties with Karak Norn, but he doesn't know Zufbar. So until he actually meets them and goes over there, then we should be okay. Skip, and turn. And let's head to Castle Drakenhof. I do imagine these guys will raise an army at Oberstyre or at Castle Templehof and take the moot while we're looping around this way. Yeah, and it's Vlad himself again. The other option would be to go up to Fort Oberstyre and deal with this way, which would allow them to probably go for Schwarzhofen, but, you know, may not be the worst idea. Yes, it will. Oh, okay. The Adventures of Gotrek and Felix. Casualty or punishment trait +10. Win the following battle with Elspeth von Draken, the Nightmare of Geheimnisnacht Eve. Enemy forces, ooh, lots of demonettes. That's kind of a good sort of unit to counter our units. What the heck is this? Guys, stop losing territory. Come on, man. Oh, we're gonna have to go down here and deal with you. Not right now, but we are going to have to do it. But as I was saying, the Slanchi forces are pretty good sort of counter to sort of gunnery forces because they have low armor, wasting your armor piercing. And, yeah, that's nice. As opposed to a pile of crossbows. Plus they move really quick, so they get into combat quick. We will do that eventually. And we got the Death's Timekeeper thing as well. We will, of course, give these all a read when we fight them, but we're a little bit busy for now, in the sense that, oh, we can't actually reach Oberstyre. Can we reach Drakenhof? No. Okay, well then obviously we're going to Oberstyre. Yeah, we'll give those a read afterwards. Thank you for the Talisman of Endurance. We can give that to... Oh, actually, should we give that to Elspeth? Over the double heal? Considering the Carmine Dragon, not sure. And Fort Oberstyre is just as weak as the other place was. Oh, Vlad, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to keep auto-resolving you until you get better units. Alright, if he revives again with these little garbage stacks, I'll just fight it. But for now, I think we can get better battles, and maybe even a quest battle later in this episode. So I'd rather just advance forward through the campaign and not fight the easy-peasy stuff. Hey, we got the silver bullets now. Though the question is... who do we delete for them? We do want them in our army. Don't really... Hey, and we got the Carmine Dragon. Okay, now we gotta fight. I guess we're fighting at Castle Templehof. And we'll probably fight at Drakenhof as well. Because frankly, Vlad will probably revive there right after. And Doomfire Ring. Burning Head assigned Lord or Hero. I take it this is an ancillary. Yeah, banner gained. Alright. Doesn't sound like a banner, but works. And that was all very distracting. Evasion for you, and then Purple Son of Zeraeus, and then I guess we'll go for Magisterix. And that'll actually help in the sort of close confines of the sieges afterwards. Constructor Zintler, well, I don't know why I clicked you, but what I do know is that we need to check if there's something else to be built. Let's now... Ugh, the growth here is low, but we can build a growth thing here in Steingart. If we do public order here, we can collect the income out of the Feildorf Wine Market and the Weaving House, which isn't really happening right now. So we're going to switch out of the growth. Oh man, this will be minus 40 growth. That's pretty crazy. Maybe we wait until this upgrades until tier 2. I really hesitate to let growth go. This will be +5, and then this will be minus... we can still collect the income for a couple turns before it gets too angry. Alright, fine. Don't let the growth go. Schwarzhofen, you're angry because you're very much vampirically corrupted, but there's not much we can do about that. As long as we take Castle Drakenhof before it rebels, that'll be fine. Wertbad, you're also in, well, bad public order, despite the wine. What are you doing? But we'll fix it. We need to fix everything ourselves, apparently. This all of this. Alright, and more schematics available, which means I guess we got another upgrade. Are we at 5 now? We will be as soon as we pick something, and that's gonna be more rockets. Ever more rockets. I suppose we could have done the stock for mortars and put them close to the Castle Templehof and just annoyed them with invisible mortars. There's that possibility as well, which does amuse me. It does, not gonna lie. But anyway, for now, I guess we'll check Diplo, end the turn, and then proceed. Karakern wants to be... These guys want peace. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I wish it would. I like the idea of a future empire that peace with the vampire counts, and the vampires and the undead. Well, the Gash did stand against the tide of chaos in the end times, after all. And Vlad. I do love that he comes back every turn, though. It's appropriate. Alaric Ranulfson... No, okay, dude, no. Dirthu is gonna kill you. He's gonna kill you. Frankly, we should put you out of your misery before he does. Wow, 1,500 gold just for a little bit of leadership? No. We'll risk more Sleeve's Wrath. I've read this a million times, I'll just read it again. Your warriors range deep into hostile lands, but all is not well. There are dark omens abroad, as if the shadows of some horned god was watching from the evil moon above. The army is fettered by more Sleeve's glare. Risk the wrath. Alright, ready for duty is irrelevant to us. Vlad is here, so we'll have a little bit more fun attacking us, and we'll have to be careful as we don't really have melee troops to do this as we normally might, but we do have our dragon. Let's see. You can get restock. Hasn't been super useful thus far, but in a siege that would be different. Alright, Elspeth, this one we're fighting. We gotta see the dragon in action. We have no use for the second regeneration thing. I guess we could give Elspeth the... Wait. Oh, we don't have enough heroes. Okay, well, until we get Bruckner, Elspeth's champion, on the field, we can't really do much. Fire resistance and burning head versus the frostbite and flaming attacks. I'm gonna say the free burning head, assuming that it doesn't cost winds of magic, is gonna be more useful to us. This actually does give vigor loss reduction. She doesn't have perfect vigor either. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put this on her, and I want to see whether in battle it appears as a separate sort of thing. Kind of like, see, we have the Seed of Rebirth. If we see Everwood Root here somewhere, that would be nice, but it doesn't look like it. It seems like it's just the general type of regeneration, but nonetheless, I'd like to check, so yeah. Alright, away we go. I wonder why Elspeth was silent in this particular battle. Perhaps she's taken in the sights of her new CARMINE dragon, which looks pretty damn nice. It is a, I'd say similar looking to the Star Dragon type, or the Elven Dragons at the least. I'd say it looks more similar to them at any rate than it does to the, perhaps the not Dark Elf Dragons, the Wood Elf Dragons, but I mean, dragons are dragons, you know. But anyway, lovely color scheme, and we'll see how it looks when it's in combat as soon as we can, which should be pretty soon. And I guess we'll also be seeing how Elspeth's animations will differ here. Also, she's toting around a lot of skeletons on her throne there, and that's a big skeleton on her throne there, and making it look pretty nice. Lovely. Alright, well, the bombardment will begin as it usually does, and this is one of those maps where the defender is often at a disadvantage for several reasons. This is one of the few maps where you can actually fire down upon the defenders with guns, because there is a hill right beside the enemy, right beside the ramparts essentially, and it allows you to fire on a level with the enemy and still dish out damage with those guns rather than firing directly up above. It's quite nice, and well, nice for us, not so nice for the enemy. Of course, we've got other things to do, and we've got a dragon breath to try out, which is pretty different from the other dragon breaths. Here we go. Now, this dragon breath is technically supposed to be an anti-single unit, but I wanted to try it out, especially since it's a little bit wasted on something like Vlad, who would just heal through it just fine, unless we were to follow it up with a lot of other stuff. But damn, that's a really nice, it's a really nice effect, and it still does decent damage to these skeleton warriors. We'll see how it works against other blobs of units or knights or things like that. But in the meantime, we got a lot of bombarding to do and destroying any enemy units that are up on top of those walls. Looks like these Graveguard units are pretty much done for, and we'll be looking to knock these walls down with our cannon as well, which should happen fairly quick, though our mortars and our Hellstorm rocket batteries have a lot of other work to do in the form of attacking the units that are milling around in here. In the meantime, I guess we can get a little bit more work for Elspeth down here. She wants to kill off vampires, perhaps, but she'll have to settle for bats this time around. It's probably going to take her a little bit of time to work through these bats, as her melee attack rather, at 56 is quite low, and the melee defense on bats is at 56 as well. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of time while she works her way through them. But that's okay. While she is doing that, the bats are not really threatening to her at all. We can see her HP barely dropping, and then even when it does, the regeneration keeps her nice and healthy. And yeah, we got 0.1 heal per second from the regen, and then another 0.1 from the Seed of Rebirth, keeping it at 0.2, which is nice. And I still haven't decided whether that's better or not than the Talisman of Preservation. I'd say against blobs of units like bats or really any basic units, it's most likely better. But against anything that does a ton of damage, like, I don't know, if we were to fight Vlad directly, we'd probably get more mileage out of the Talisman of Preservation instead, as we don't want to get hit very, very hard and lose a lot of our HP, because there are plenty of damage-dealing lords that can out-heal regeneration. Anyway, Elspeth's gonna take a while working on those bats pretty clearly, and she can be there while we can continue the bombardment, which, by the looks of it, is going pretty well. Zombies, graveguards, skeletons, all the enemy infantry alike are far too slow to properly dodge shots from Hellstorm rocket batteries. It's one of those situations where the inaccuracy of certain artillery pieces like ours actually works in our favor, rather than against us, generally, except for that shot, which had to be completely missing to make me look like an idiot, but generally speaking. Anyway, the bombardment will continue until morale improves, and our morale is improving by the minute. Let's see how we're doing here. Bats are down to about half HP. Of course, we could probably drop them quite a lot quicker with a few spells. In fact, Vortexes do affect flyers, so if we were to drop the Purple Son of Zorias and it didn't immediately move away, I could probably rip apart all of these bats, but we have other units that we could target with it, and even with her reductions, it's still a fairly costly spell, or at least it will be once we get the reductions there, but there might still be value in dropping it. We have 151 kills, primarily from the Dragon's Breath. And we do need, what, 1,000 kills to get the quest completed for the Pale Scythe, which means we got a fair few more to do. And when we attack Castle Drakenhof, we'll have the Magisterix reduction. And thus we'll be able to drop a bunch of those purple suns on top of the enemy, and thusly probably kill plenty of them off, and hopefully complete that quest this episode, which will be nice. Anyway, still working on those bats for, what, 4 minutes straight? It's taken a while, but she's dishing out damage and taking very little in return, and all the while the bombardment does still have to continue. It continues to continue, and ooh, what do we have here? Vlad? Huh. This might be a desync, I don't recall him doing this. Vlad decided to move out. Well, he's gonna take a few, or get a few hits in on our handgunners and on the Sons of Sigmar. This is probably not a great place for our own troops to be. But since this didn't really happen, the casualties are irrelevant. This will probably also be not so great for Vlad, as he'll drop fairly quickly if we get a few nice volleys on him. There we go. Oh my lord, our own unit. Oh, replay. It's okay. At least the bombardment and the rest of the battle is roughly happening as it should. And Elspeth is dropping those bets. Alright, kill off of those guys and apparently gun our own units down. But, well, you gotta do what you gotta do, replay. And hey, at least this gives Vlad a chance to show off a little bit. Rip enemies apart with the Blood Drinker, all while taking thousands upon thousands of bullets that do little to no damage to him. And once he dies, he'll simply come back next turn yet again. And yeah, okay. Okay, replay. Yeah. Cannons came here. I think they were supposed to target Vlad, and then the replay was once again being absolutely ridiculous. Well, at this rate, Vlad will be dropping fairly quick, so will the Sigmar's sons, of course, but since this didn't happen, they won't actually. And I do believe he's reached his healing cap. What are you guys doing? I remember in one of the books, I don't think it was a regular Empire cannon, I think it was a Hellblaster volley gun, that basically insta-killed, I think it was a Bloodthirster, and that basically came through a gate and then just a volley into it and just exploded the thing. Probably could be done to Vlad. Anyway, I definitely don't recall sending Elspeth into fights like this, but hey, it'll mean more animations of her and her dragon, and doing a little fighting, which is nice. Alright, we can still see her casting animations, and she holds her scythe aloft, but unfortunately it looks like when on top of the mount, it's just the mount's animations that we get, which is a bit unfortunate, I think, since they already gave Elspeth those animations on her horse when she uses, I don't know, Shyish energy blasts at people. She could probably still do that from on top of the dragon, and frankly she's not so high up there that she probably can bonk away with her scythe. I mean, they should really take a cue out of the animations of the war shrines to do that. Anyway, the replay continues being silly, but honestly this gives us more shots than the actual battle when I played it, because when I played it the enemy got ripped apart so badly that they didn't really have a chance to do anything or to fight back. If anything, this made the battle slightly better, so I ain't complaining, is what I'm getting at. And ghouls are surprisingly still alive. We've sent a bunch of our Free Company militia up on those walls, and they're firing down upon the Black Knights while Elspeth continues her fight. She's not under threat by anything here now that she's on her dragon, with the exception of Vlad, who will hopefully move on in. Rest of our units are kind of just sitting around there. Maybe get a few volleys on Vlad. He'll probably die instantly if all of the handgunners shoot him at once. If it actually happens in this replay. But it looks like it won't. Unfortunately, the replay will end here. I would maybe otherwise play this replay manually like I did last episode, but at the same time, it happened basically the same, except the enemy did no damage whatsoever, and just all died to bombardments, so I think not a big deal. At least not a big enough deal to change. Alright, there we go, easy enough. It always feels a little bit mean to pound an enemy fortification into submission in this manner, but, well, what can you do? I guess sometimes some of us would just prefer to siege over fortifying. There's a little Iron Warrior in all of us. Anyway, Vlad goes down yet again, but he'll be back up next turn with more raised dead, I'm sure. But, well, what can that do against such reckless artillery? Anyway, standard of discipline. You can go on, I don't know, Sterling's Revenge, maybe? These guys are liable to be up front and thus take damage. We're going to occupy the place. I mean, we're going to take all of Sylvania for ourselves after all.
Elspeth von Draken.
And it starts with growth, which is fine. Fort Oberstar, we definitely don't need the training field there. We're going to have to decorrupt this entire area after all. And oh, we got 3 turns until Drakenhof is at tier 3, which on the one hand would allow us to take it at a higher tier. On the other hand, do we really want them to recover enough to be able to make use of that? On the other hand, there's a decent likelihood that it gets attacked and taken over by Zufbar, and that's definitely not something we want. It's a big cash cow territory with a gold mine in it, and we want it for ourselves most definitely. Durthu, what are you doing out here? You being a maniac? What are you, Durthu? This freaking guy makes me so nervous. Who are you at war with? You're at war with Clan Scry. Yeah, go over there. Go fight the rats. Go fight the rats. Go fight the dwarfs. Go fight the orcs. Just stay away from the Empire, man. No exterminatus tree shenanigans, please. Anyway, let's see what we got to upgrade for ourselves. Filedorf has potentially another upgrade for the fields, but for now we're going to collect the income and just keep the negative growth. I mean, the negative public order isn't so bad in vanilla as it was in SFO, so alright, do that, and I guess we can delete you, repair you, and do the pastures there. We should be safe enough here for now, I think. That means we're free to upgrade the stuff at Needling as well. Maybe not free, but we're gonna. And not entirely sure it's worth investing in the farms as yet, as there are other important things to build, so we'll hold off on that one, methinks. We need 350, I believe, schematics to keep on going, so let's get Magisterics, let's get whatever this guy level 2, and then let's continue. Also, how close is Nuln? Let me just see here in a second. You can get piercing shots? Yeah. Get your piercing shots. You're reasonably quick on that mechanical steed. I take it it's slower than the regular steed. Yeah, considerably slower than the regular steed, but hardly surprising. What do we got in terms of new items? Probably nothing. Still not a single enchanted item, but generally speaking, not anything to be concerned with. We already have a scribe on Elspeth, and we're kind of out of space. Charcoal burner gives us control. We've got campaign line of sight, which is fine. Bone pickers can only bone pickers can only go on heroes. Hey, take a bone picker, why not? And the rest I believe is good. You certainly don't need that camp follower. We'll save those for Slaanesh. Building upgrade available, that's fine. Let's end the turn after diplomacy check number 52. And Telebekland. Wait. Telebekland wants to confed, and we just, what do they have? They have Kemperbed and Krugenheim. I mean, it's 2 free territories. They are currently at war with Festus, who's likely to take them over. I'm almost thinking it's not worth it right now. If they had a capital territory like Wurtbed, then yes, but since they don't, I think it's not worth it. And it's going to be an issue confederating Averland as well. Quite the issue indeed. Mostly because they will soon be surrounded entirely by our territories, and will thus... Okay, also, before I forget, you, start moving. We're probably going to have to set you up here in Steingart, as these guys are likely to sally out and attack us here. However, we also want to reduce the cost of the foundry, so we'll keep you near, but not too near. Alright. The rest of that looks good to me, so let's end the turn and let's proceed. We got a lot of quests to go through, but for now we're busy. Not to worry, we'll be starting on them within the next few episodes. Well, we'll see what's going on by the end of the episode. Obviously, if we can't get a good battle elsewhere, then we'll see what we see. Vlad will sue for peace one more time, but no, we'll want to take Castle Drakenhof for ourselves. And Elspeth von Draken. Sounds like she belongs at Drakenhof. Vampire conflict gives us a massive amount of leadership. Conflict of men. We are fighting no men at the current time, so we'll grant the halfling's request, and the moot is currently under our protection, so that does make sense. The elder of the moot requests an audience with the emperor. He pleads that men be sent to their eastern border to secure it against neighboring Sylvania. The halflings are nervous about von Karstein intent, which is funny because, as I recall, vampires don't like to feed on halflings. But anyway, grant the halfling's request. Sure. There we go. That'll help with the auto-resolves, if anything else. We can't reach Drakenhof in a single bound. Alright, fine, we'll go to Eschen. Take that, and then... Oh, Vlad will revive at Waldenhof. Interesting. Hopefully, wait, I didn't just screw us over, did I? Wait. No, it's 2 turns. You know what, maybe we'll take it at tier 3. It'll... Oh! Hey, this one's worth fighting, look at that. We got Graveguard, we got a Vargulf, yeah. Alright. And we still don't have those silver bullets in here, but I'm disinclined to delete what we've got, so, you know.
Send these spirits to Morr's
They'll all be replaced eventually, which means we'll probably be trading them. Anyway, let's get fields here. We'll need the place to grow. Wait, are we able to build the Temple of Sigmar? Not until level of 2. Alright, I wanted the anti-corruption. We can auto-resolve Eschen, obviously.
Morr will welcome.
And occupy the place. Alright, and build the wine here for the public order and whatnot immediately. Starting to make decent cash now, which will mean more upgrades and hopefully less problems. Get the clothier here, Feildorf. We'll need the public order, but at the same time, we can pop the growth here and replace this one with a public order. And beautiful, which means more growth foundry next turn, which will mean soon access to more fancy units. Imperial Gunnery School, we're at 431 now. And, oh, we'll need 600 for these. Foundry will be next turn, though. I mean, I guess we could start investing in all of this stuff, but it's not like we have any right now, so it would be not super useful to us, which means I think we just save the schematics for the nonce. Next, diplomacy. Let's double check it.
Yes.
And yeah, another reason I really want to keep checking this stuff is because we're liable to eventually encounter confederations. Middenland and Averland would be useful ones. Talabecland right now, not so much. At least I'm not willing to risk the public order issues that come with it. Karakadrin is still held by the dwarfs. Good. Good. And they have Grom Peak. Oh. The Red Eye might be destroyed. These guys have 4 territories. They're at war with Azag and the Bone Rattlers. Though I imagine Skarsnik's going to cause them some problems as well. Clan Angron / Belagar don't particularly like us, mostly because of our alliances with Durthu, but frankly, I'm more wary of the Wood Elves than I am of the dwarfs. As insulting as that might be to the dwarfs, it's just the case. The dwarfs' slow armies are not ones that are great in the hands of the AI, and more importantly than that, burning down Athelorn is always just a huge hassle. And do we have breaches in the walls? We do not. Alright, let's manually fight this. The thing is, we can't bring Vlad down, but maybe the towers can bring down his troops. Although we'll see. Honestly, if he takes it, it really doesn't matter, because Elspeth will just kill him again and get free XP. Probably what I should have done is set up some basic troops there, like transfer one of our troops to get the silver gunners. And if we have to again, then I'll just do that. But let's just face it right now, Vlad isn't being too threatening, just a nuisance. Although I suppose the big annoyance of this will be the fact that we'll have to move back the deal. Okay, so we got a lot of troops set up here and smart. And they went here, just like we did, because there are no towers in that area, which is an issue. We could go back to our citadel with most of our units. Certainly an option. Wait, let me just see here. What's the best way to do this? Oh, there's 2 ways into the citadel of this particular territory. It does command a single tower, but where's the tower? It's right here. I wonder what the range on this thing is. Probably not great. Wait, who are you connected to? Oh, wait, this one commands this tower. And who commands this tower? Oh, this one. I mean, we could try to defend this one, but Vlad will likely come in from this direction. We would have explosive towers by then, I'm sure, though. But anyway, for now, let's deal with this. We'll do this. We'll sacrifice 1 unit of, let's say, spears. Or maybe swords. Although I suppose these guys will be climbing the walls. Yeah, but Vlad will climb as well, and he'll rip anything here apart. Keep spears here. We'll see what they do. If Vlad comes in, we'll just sort of run away. And, you know, maybe 1 crossbow unit. We should still have the speed to get away from them. I take it that there's no nearby towers that would be able to reach us here. And I don't imagine that there is. Nope. Alright, the rest of you all are going to defend this side. And hopefully to decent ability. Alright, you guys go here. And here, but we need you interspersed with swordsman troops because the enemy bats are likely to land and attack you immediately. Here, here, and here. Alright, who else do we have here? I guess you guys can just sit here and wait for the enemy to climb. That looks good to me. We'll save... I was about to say save for the explosive towers, but no, go for the piercing tower here. Start battle, and speed it up to max. See how we do here. You guys, go for the bats. Because they're more threatening. And Vlad will very slowly approach. Don't bother targeting Vlad. Don't bother targeting the zombies. Go for the Graveguard, though sadly I fear you won't be able to do too much damage to them, if any at all. Alright, the bats have landed as expected on our crossbows, but that's just fine. We move the crossbows away and let the swordsmen take care of them. Let's move more swordsmen in. I probably should have left another one over there. Alright, hopefully that'll allow the bats to break sooner. Do we have any more Graveguard here? This is a Skeleton Warrior unit. And crossbows. Keep moving, please. Let the melee units fight. Alright, speed back up to max, mostly because this isn't a battle worth fighting, and win or lose, it doesn't really matter. But we should fight it to reduce enemy numbers, if anything else. And who knows, he might actually sack the place. Because if he takes it, it'll just get wrecked again, so... yeah. Alright, this looks good to me. How are we doing out here? The bats are dying, though it's taking a little bit longer than I'd like. They do have massive melee defense, of course. And the bats, I mean, so that would explain why it's taking them so long. Alright. And you guys are looking okay. Fire into those bats, and ooh, you guys are gonna rout shortly if we let that keep up. Alright, you will move all the way, I don't know, it's over here. Alright, how's that tower looking? I would like to make you into an explosive tower as well, but we need another 1550 to do so. Alright, we'll get there. Alright, bats are now done. You guys target those bats instead, and then we'll move. Okay, you guys can start dealing with... Hey. Oh! The AI still does this? Damn. Let's hope they don't avoid all of the combat. How are we on this side? Alright, crossbows, I think we'll need you most of all, so we'll back you away. Vlad is not yet through the gate. Actually, no, you know what? Go here and fire on the doggos. You guys go here. And keep fighting. Biggest blob of enemy is on this side, enemies, is on this side, so we'll want the tower most effective here. Although I suppose... You know what I should have done? I should have built the tower here instead of this one, but oh well, not a big deal. Yeah, upgrade you, 29 seconds. Should be just in time to fight all these guys and, well, hopefully hold them off. You guys don't fire as yet, and yeah, you think you're... Oh, maybe at this unit. I was about to say you're likely to do more damage to us than the enemy, but who knows. Back off. You guys can keep firing. Alright, how are we doing on Vlad's side? I know it's a silly little fight, but, well, we're here. And alright, you guys are going to absolutely get overrun, so go here. And there's a time to back off. You could probably get a few more shots into those dire doggos, but at the same time, I think we're better off just backing off. Go back here. Alright, and let's speed it up a little bit now. What the heck? How are they capturing these towers with all of our units there? Alright, you guys. And you guys don't bother firing anymore, at least not while the units are fighting. The zombies are fighting, of course, and how's our tower looking? There we go. Now we got the explosive tower firing away. I guess we could watch this for a little bit. Just gotta make sure that the units that are running, not you, but these two, are running to where they're supposed to be running to. Alright, then the Citadel, which needs to be protected, we'll probably actually want to back those units away to here, and if I can remember where the tower that protects it is, it's not this one. It's, this one I actually can't reach here. Alright, fine. I don't know if this one can reach anything. Alright, let's just build a couple of basic towers all over this place, and hope that they can do some decent work. And I'll speed it up again in a second. Not to worry, we'll have a decent fight at Drakenhof, I'm sure. Alright, you guys get ready to set up. How's that gate looking? Still alive. Need to sort of separate a little bit and then drag those zombies into combat. Alright, now you can fire on the zombies. Alright, that looks good to me. Vlad and co are making their way in. We could probably defend this place as well, so build a tower here. And that will probably get taken by Vlad, though. Alright, they will make their way through and speed it up again. Or watch our units contend with the zombies for a bit. Poke away, though they are slowly doing damage, I'm sure. They are zombies after all. And our troops, well, our basic spearmen, our tier 1, have basically no armor, and one of the few units that zombies are liable to actually damage. They're our version of zombies, basically. Sorry, spears. And this is the unshielded spears, of course. I think they're called pikes in SFO. Alright, looks like that's good. Now, the rest of you are going to head down here to block off the gate. And what we'll do is we'll set you up here, and then we'll set you up here. Like so, to fire into their sides as they move on in. Let's say like that, with the... Are there 2 units of spears or 1 unit of spears? Okay, 1 unit of spears. 1 unit of spears without 2 units of spears. I lied behind them. Alright, how are we do... Oh, what the heck? What's this? Oh, another unit. Are you guys gonna chase that unit? Okay. Run away. I don't know if you'll survive, whatever. Vlad is nearly through the gate now. And this will definitely warrant some speed up right now. Now, the enemy dire doggos are going to be quite the issue. They've got some zombies here. I guess you can fire at them. Probably going to be a waste of your ammunition, to be frank. But it's not like you're doing anything else with it. You have a tower here, but this is a tier 1 tower. I would like another tier 4 tower in a few places, which is why we're saving up the rest of our cash. Alright, let's let them break through this gate now. Don't bother sallying out, just let them... You can back off a little bit, you can back off a little bit. We want them damaging our own units. Alright, you know what, just in case you need to return here. Way to block off any of this. You... Where would be the decent position for one of these big towers? Enemies are moving here, ain't they? Oh, the zombies moved out of that. Recapture it. Alright, then you can go here. Is this tower belong to this place? Yeah. Alright, you can upgrade to an explosive tower then. We'll have to deal with the EU though. You know what? I think we're gonna need to send a couple of these melee troops as reinforcements to here. EU, for example. Go all the way up here. And, well, keep firing on this. It'll mostly, hopefully, be the explosive tower dishing out damage to them. And we can build another explosive tower somewhere. You capture this. These guys are going to capture the key building, and these guys will all take shots, for example, from you, but you have to stay here and hopefully hold these guys back. Assuming they're going up here, this tower will be able to fire on them, so we'll pop an explosive tower there as well. Speaking of the explosive tower, how are you doing here? Firing into the middle of the enemy formation, but doing work. Frankly, once again, it probably would have been just easier to auto-resolve this, but, you know, it's so fun fighting these little tiny battles on occasion. Especially since there's not going to be all that many of them throughout the campaign, you know? Even if they are a little samey. Anyway, these guys should be clear soon. You have recaptured... Nope, not yet at this point. And we... Hey, how are you capturing this? We've got units there. Yeah, you need to get onto this so that the enemy isn't capturing it. Otherwise the explosive tower will, well, explode. Speaking of explosive tower, you... Now. Alright, you guys need to hold it off for as long as you can. Allow the tower to do a little bit of work on it. Alright, how are we doing out here? Ready to move away yet? No, not yet. Once again, Vlad's not gonna die. What is Vlad doing? Did he just not make it through the gate? Ah, no, Vlad is bugged. Huh. The gate's not... Ah, well, that's just... That's a shame. Alright, well, we'll do some damage there, but if Vlad's bugged, then... Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll kill off these units and then we'll concede the battle in Vlad's favor. Because I wouldn't want to win that way. Alright, and... Yeah, as soon as these guys are done, we'll move through the rest of this. All the rest of these units are done for. And, ooh, this unit might actually reach where it needs to go, huh? Maybe Vlad wouldn't have lost. Because we have the units here. You go for the cannon tower. Oh, wow, it's gonna take 90 seconds? God, that's too long. Should have just put up a basic tower there, but anyway. Keep attacking this blob of units. That will melt away shortly. Which it's doing right now. And... Come on. Don't let them capture it. Oh, they're moving away. Yeah, this is just the AI being an idiot. I know how it'll... Just go. I mean, we still wouldn't be able to kill Vlad. Here's what, like, we could be cheap, and what we could do is we could wait for, like, I don't know, many seconds. And fill up the entire settlement, essentially, with the, fill up the, oh, these are Graveguard. Okay, we need the cannon towers to actually kill them. No, you guys run. Don't bother fighting them. I didn't realize those were Graveguard. I thought they were skeletons. Just do this. And then you fire on them. Just let the cannon towers do their work. What I was saying was fill up the entire place with tons and tons of explosive towers or cannon towers and let them kill Vlad instead. But, yeah, that feels cheap. And back up, back up, back up. Keep the cannon towers firing. They're not super accurate, mind you, but, well... Alright, now the poor Graveguard are melting away, and okay, we got some spears that finally finished off the unit that was trying to capture this. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so what we would do is build a bunch of towers, put the crossbows up here until they kill off the direwolves, and then let the direwolf, and then let Vlad melt away, because the balance of power would be in our favor at that point with all his army dead. But I think with all of his units now dead, we're going to concede the battle. In his favor, yes. Because he should have broken the gate and should have broken into the settlement. He absolutely should have. It's just the AI being ridiculous. Which happens sometimes. I mean, we just had a siege in Tamarkan's campaign, and Archie was breaking through every gate and going up through every wall by comparison. Oh, wow, all 3 bats revived, but at least the Graveguard didn't. He is going to sack the place, but we didn't invest in it, so that hardly matters, and we'll be in Marchtown. What are you doing? Okay, well, yeah. I think Vlad's AI is just broken now. It doesn't know what to do. Ooh, I would really like Averland. That Confederation is so close. Ah, damn, they've retaken their territory, though. That probably means they will not confederate. Yeah, it went from -6 to 42. Oh, well. Maybe they'll lose it again. Settlement sacked, Castle Templehof. That's fine. Treehammer's destroyed. Oh, Ostland. Good job. Good job, too. And Ergig has been taken by regular Empire. Oh, wow, and they've taken Middenheim and stuff. Good job to regular Empire. I'm kind of impressed. Anyway, Elspeth, go after Vlad. And auto-resolve. What was the point of that? I really thought he'd do a little something more with what he had there. Take the money. And take the money, and then we'll fight. Ooh. Oh, Hawkland long rifles as well. Alright. What quests do we have? The Pale Scythe. I would like to actually take a look at the quest, though. What do we have? And how do we see what's the reinforcements? I always forget. Victory conditions? No. The Pale Scythe. Oh, it doesn't have a battle yet. This is just the first... Ah, okay, we're gonna start having to drop a lot of purple suns and stuff to actually do this. This has the Slaaneshi stuff, so I'd like to get... Okay, this is bugged too. I'd like to get more troops to actually fight them. Death's Timekeeper. Oh my. I got 2 giants and 2 hell cannons plus reinforcements. Okay, that one we're gonna need more stuff, I think. We could probably take it, but we'll have so much damage to our army that it would be not the greatest of ideas. And this is bugged, but we could probably fight the Gotrek and Felix battle. Anyway, let's upgrade and then let's go. Another point in purple, Son of Zareus, to reduce its cost even further. And then you, sir, get a point in piercing shots. I'd really like those new units, but there's nobody to trade them to. Unless, wait, if we move back to Eschen... Wait. If we set up you, or... Inventor, ooh, I gotta keep an eye out on this in case another inventor comes on by. You're a weapon master at 260, you're cheaper. But you can actually fight. Alright, pop you in here. And, ow! Well, that gave us money back. That's actually nice. So we have access now to the silver bullets and the Ergig Jaeger Corps, which both we want in here. Grundle's Defenders, Spearmen with Shields. What do you get? Rear Guardian, physical resistance plus 15, affects units if artillery or a war machine. Okay, that sounds like that's something we should probably put in our army. I guess they'll eventually replace the Sigmar Sons, but the Sigmar Sons are quite useful in our army for now. So, we're going to move here, and I'm just going to pray that that we can still move to... Okay, you know what? Go here. I'm just going to pray that we can... Okay, no, that didn't work. We can still reach Drakenhof after this. As otherwise it would be a waste of a turn. Give them one of your handgunners, one of your... free companies. We want to give them 2 of the handgunners? I mean, they're gonna get replaced by other types of handgunners, I guess. Yeah, fine. Alright, and yes, we can still reach it. Then we'll get the new guys. Yadagig, Jaeger Corpse, Silver Bullets, Grundle's Defenders. Castle Drakenhof. What are we supposed to do to the place? Oh, it's part of our short campaign victory. That's fine. We're gonna fight this. And then, if we have time, maybe fight a little something else. Although, yeah. Let's just double check before I forget. Yes, Wort Bad. Yes, investment. And I guess public order. Actually, because of this, we have control here already, which means I think we're better off getting the Weaving House and investing more in our economy. You, Nuln, are finally ready for your foundry. Foundry found. Gunsmith, and then I have foundry right after that. I upgraded this farm, but now I'm thinking if we can delete it, we can build the livery and get Bruckner on the field by probably next episode, so I think we'll do that. Don't waste the money on this as yet, but we'll upgrade Dotternbach so we can build the barracks here, as it is a... this is going to be our military province. Feildorf. I was going to say public order here, and public order it shall be, but let's upgrade the farm so that we can grow it a little bit better. Mootland, let's upgrade you to level 2, get the pasture up and running, and then we'll get the Grand Cauldron here as well, and get that faction-wide province growth up and running. Alright, the rest of you look good. Northern and Southern Sylvania, you are probably going to rebel, at least while the corruption is heavy, but that's fine. We'll have to police it for a little bit of a while, but the rest of this looks okay to me. And of course we can pop the anti-corruption commandments. Anyway, let's do this battle. I want to take a look at these units. Go. Alright, well it looks like the siege is completely desynced as well, but fortunately sieges are pretty okay in terms of doing pseudo-cinematics in that, well, we can just set up our forces and then there's really not all that much controlling that we have to do of them. They can work on their own more or less and just fine, so not super concerning. Anyway, here we go. We got our Hochland long rifles here, the Hedegig Jaeger Corps, which are looking pretty nice and will hopefully be pretty darn effective here. In addition to that, we have our Silver Bullets as well, who are frankly weaker than the Ironsides, but are still nice, and plus they have that magical damage on them, so we gotta make use of that. And then lastly, we have the Grundle's Defenders spears, which will fit in very nicely. Honestly, with all the color scheme of the Knights of the Black Rose, they fit in really well with all of our infantry. And I guess with the Nuln shields on the Grundle's Defenders, a little bit hard to see from this angle. Nuln shields? Okay, fine. There we go, Nuln shields. They'll fit in nicely with the, well, all of our troops, but also with the Knights of the Black Rose. Anyway, I'm getting distracted as I usually do. Let's set up and get to it, shall we? You guys all can move forward and sort of fire upon the enemy. At the end of the day, Elspeth's going to be doing most of the work while inside the enemy settlement. Engineer can help out here. Guns, make sure to make use of this hill so you can all be here, and you can go in the center because you'll probably want to fire to some degree through the breach that will inevitably happen in the enemy's walls. Alright, you guys go here. You two can fire down on the enemy from where you are. And I think that's pretty much it. Alright. Wait, I forgot somebody who's over here. Oh, Sons of Sigmar. It's not like we'll ever need you. Alright, good. You guys, move all your way forward and turn off skirmish mode. Elspeth up here, please. Cannon ray. Break that wall for us. And, well, the rest is just a matter of time now. So let's speed it up a little bit. And we'll get some nice shots of, well... what the heck was that? Why did they all fire down here? Alright, I don't know what that was. I think maybe you need to back off and refire that one. Alright, let's get a couple good purple suns into the enemy blob. At Overcast, they are all doable now. As long as the enemy doesn't move away from them too much. There we go.
The graveyard rose.
That should be some decent damage. We'll see how many kills. And this is an opportunity to rack up kills for Elspeth, as obviously we're trying to get her Pale Scythe. And that spell got 225 kills, 21k damage. Not too bad. Especially considering the... well, not especially, but the enemy is rather weak because they're piles of skeletons and such. So that shouldn't be surprising. Alright, get a nice... actually didn't work quite as well as I thought it would, but it's all good. It hardly matters. Now, I want you to be up here, I want you guys to be here, and then you guys to be here, and everybody else to keep firing. And if we can get the cannon firing on the enemy Master Necro, that would be just lovely. Everybody else doing your work? Good? Aren't there a bat unit? Wasn't there a bat unit here? Yeah, there is one right there, but I think we'll kill the Necro first, and then we'll work on the bat right after. Keep Spirit Leeches up, and then we got another Coruscating Blast rather than Carmine Dragon Breath, but, you know, close enough. Close enough. Bombardment continues in the meantime. It's going to be a little bit of a while of this, guys, so strap yourselves in, but at the same time, not a crazy difference from a regular cinematic battle, I'd wager. As I do occasionally get out of the cinematic mode there as well. Anyway, this guy's still rushing around. Elspeth will need a little bit until she can cast that Spirit Leech. We may want to put another wizard in her army just so that she can cast a... or that she has a Forbidden Rod. Although, wait. I guess she can use a Forbidden Rod herself, I assume. I don't remember whether she has something that would preclude her from doing so, as in an item that would take the space otherwise of the rod. In the meantime, when we continue doing our work, let's target the ghouls now. The enemy hero/lord is almost dead, and I think Elspeth won't be needed to deal with it, so let's move on towards those Fellbats. Mortars! Target this blob, and let's move a few units down here now. Now the Ironsides, move you here, and let's back you up with, let's say, the Sigmar's Sons. Alright, Cannon, do you have anything you need to target over there? Not really. Oh, we have another dragon. We could use it on the Vargulf, but the problem with that is it's just going to regenerate through it, although I guess with a few Spirit Leeches. I don't think we should be fighting the Vargulf one-on-one with Elspeth, nonetheless. And it's going to move, and it's going to take, let's see. It's such a cool animation, though. It's going to take decent damage, and let's pop this on it. And will that be enough to lower its HP and make it crumble? No. What about if we combine it with Doom and Darkness? More leadership reduction, down to -13. There we go, forced it to crumble, and now keep chasing it while it's crumbling. I don't know if this is gonna work, but you can at least annoy it in this manner. The rest of our artillery can continue to fire. At the end of the day, Elspeth can always lift off if needed. What are you doing? I mean, I guess it technically doesn't know that Elspeth is after it. The thing ended, so it'll go back to critical binding instead. Cannon, if you can reach it. Turn off your physical resistance and let's see some fighting. I wish it wasn't in the dark here, and I don't know if the cannon's gonna be able to shoot you. I see the Carmine Dragon taking a few bites though. Something's happening in there, and yeah, the enemy Vargulf is nearly dead. How's the rest of the bombardment looking? Pretty okay in my opinion. I think we can start climbing some of these walls. You guys go here, and let's send you two handgunners to climb this side. Alright, the Vargulf has fallen. We can continue firing. Elspeth simply move away. And these guys are in trouble. If we could drop a purple sun on them, I'm sure they'll be even more in trouble. You guys could probably enter the enemy settlement as well in a few seconds. Oh, Elspeth, go take out that fell bat blob. What's a group of bats called? I'm seriously asking because I don't know. I'm probably heard it, but I don't remember it at the current time. Anyway, handgunners, get ready to climb. Ironsides, I wanted you to move forward so that you could actually fire on the enemy. But I see you're not doing that, which is curious. Alright, Elspeth, take the next 8 years to bring down those bets. But once they're down, well... Ah, there we go. The Ironsides are firing. This is nice. Hopefully we don't have a Vlad come out here. Just randomly appear, but who knows? It's Vlad. That's what he does. And ooh, let's not have you do that. Fire on these guys. You can now back off, back off. Okay, yeah, we just took a volley to our own troops. Same sort of situation, but in this one, because it's not a replay, we can actually back off. It's not a bugged replay. Alright, bats are batting, and ooh, hello. Black Knights. A new target for us. You guys are climbing away, and I would like all of you to set up on top of the walls. It would be nice. Guns, I will, however, turn the rest of you around. Sigmar's sons, I think it's time to start moving on in, together with the... You know what, let's move one of the less hurt units in. And, you know what, let's have the Hawklanders climb as well. Does mirror the map turn darker? Oh, weird. And, okay, mortars, you can stop firing now as you're gonna damage our own units. So you can help out against these guys should they move up on top of the walls. And it looks like the battle's actually already over. And yeah, well, there we go. Unfortunately, once again, this one also had a desync, and it was quite similar, and I didn't want to see the Purple Sons of Zoreas, you know, being cast in non-spots, you know what I mean? So anyway... Because when you have a replay desync, the Purple Sun gets cast in places where the enemy was in when you actually played it, but in the replay they're not there anymore. So fix the desyncs. Alright, fantastic. Easy enough. Also, yeah, I should really take off that Everwood root thing, as it serves no purpose. So let's put the flaming attacks on you by the Frostfire gem instead. Or we could get you the burning head thing. I haven't actually been using it on you, so maybe we'll do this. And I'll try again to see whether the actual slow attacks work on the engineer, because I feel like it works better on them. And we'll put the Everwood root on Bruckner once we have him up and running. In the meantime, we're gonna occupy Castle Drakenhof and a lovely gold mine to be found there, sadly at level 1. And oh, that immediately unlocks the Pale Scythe. Well, that's just swell. Infecting intensity increases when nearby allies or enemies cast spells, giving us an increase in spell resistance and spell mastery. And up to 60% spell mastery, quite nice. More magic cost reduction for Lure of Death and miscast chance, and melee attack and defense +5. We did particularly need that melee attack +5, as we saw how long it took the dragon to take down the let's go anti-corruption to take down those enemies with the bats with the high defense. Let's get growth here immediately, I think. We'll need to upgrade Castle Drakenhof as fast as we can to turn this into a lovely cash cow province as well. Now, the Pale Scythe, we haven't read the quest. I was trying to get as many kills as possible on Elspeth to complete the quest, but I assumed it would give us a battle, so I guess it's the Timekeeper that we need to fight for. Anyway, a scythe made more of shadow than substance, this weapon said to be von Draken's own making is attuned to the power of Shyish. Now, quest completed. The energies of Shyish wax and wane amid tides of blood and carnage. On corpse-ridden battlefields where death lingers like a fog, the purple winds of magic blow a gale, offering untold power to all who dabble in its mysteries. Cut a violent path through the enemies of the Empire and embrace the arcane strands of magic it unleashes. One day soon they may be forged into deadly focus and wielded like a weapon towards your foes. Alright, and that gave us lots of money as a reward. Lovely. Well, Sylvania is pretty much out. Vlad still wants peace, but he has only the one territory remaining. And that looks like it helped out with their Imperial authority, even as... Well, I guess the Northern Empire has healed up at least a little bit. Not too bad. Oh, I see that Eikendorf has been taken by the Disciples of the Maw, though. Good reason to go down here and take it out. I wonder if Karazakarak still stands. I hope it still stands. I really want a bunch of one of the new Dwarfen units to join ours. Also, how long until we get the Sunmaker? No, not the Amethyst Hellstorm. I want the Sunmaker, which is a regiment of renown. It's, no, that's the Hammer of the Witches. Sunmaker is at the level 26. Okay, a bit of a while before we get there, admittedly. Alright, well, we'll probably want to knock out Waldenhof. How damaged are we from that? Basically not damaged whatsoever. Alright, and ooh, we got decent schematics. Did we do upgrades this turn? We may have, I don't know. But we do have up their upgrades here, like the tap room, though. We're actually looking okay here now. Maybe we'll hold off on that investment. And Needling. I'd really like Flensburg from these guys, but that ain't happening right now, so I think we'll hold off on it. Otherwise, Averland wants a defensive agreement. We want the military access and... Ooh, non-aggression pact with Middenland. Yes, please. Give us money. And eventually they'll most likely ask for trade, and we'll go for the military access with Talabekland and money. Keep giving us money. Make yourself poorer so that we can confederate you more easily later on, most likely. But you still don't have a capital, and if you lose your single army, most likely they'll ask for confederation every time. We could probably force them into a war specifically to do that. In the meantime, Foundry is the only thing we need to complete that. Foundry is coming. And it's just gonna take a little bit. But we're getting there. And we're getting there. Alright, I guess we have two options. Option the first is to end the turn. Option the second is to fight a fight. Death's Timekeeper. Wait. I am tempted by this, but... The thing is, we don't know what the reinforcements are, and if it's a bunch of Chaos Knights, that'll be too much with this army, I think. I'd like a few more units. The Adventures of Gotrek and Felix is a potential. I'd like to fight an actual battle, like a field battle, in this particular episode. That's the thing. We'll build tall walls, but not here. This is not a quest fight. This is... Theodore Bruckner. We just need the livery, which we're building in Nuln shortly, and then this is upgrade the gunnery school, so we can hold off on that. I guess we'll do the fight for Gotrek and Felix just because we can, and because it gives us rewards. And also because I feel like it. Alright. And I know we're already over time, but I really want a proper fight, not just sieges. What do we have here? We could keep going through this. I mean, we should probably get Fata Biuna just in case we run into something frightening. You can get piercing shots and continue dishing out damage. We're trying to get you 2 extra powder. Otherwise, we're looking good. Adventures of Gotrek and Felix. Does teleport cost us 500? Indeed it does, but it'll give us our money back. Now, let's give this a read and let's go. Geheimnistag, or the Floating Holidays, as it is known among citizens of the Empire, marks that rarest of occasions when both the twin moons of Morrslieb and Manslieb are risen and bright in the night, thinning the veil that separates the mortal realm from the other planes of existence. It is no coincidence that on one such Geheimnisnacht Eve, the hallowed dwarf slayer Gotrex and his mannish companion chronicler Felix Jaeger detected and defeated a Slaaneshi cult, only to find themselves transported to the realm of chaos to face more horrors at the whim of the insidious Prince of Pleasure. His games master, a keeper of secrets, must be found and killed for Slaanesh's foul game to finally end. Alright, let's end it. There's reinforcements, and that's where we'll be concerned, but the demon nets rushing our lines are definitely going to be an issue. No doubt about that. We can't transfer this to one of our... No, we can't. That would have been nice, though. But anyway, let's do this.
As the day of mystery thins the veil between worlds, Slaanesh enacts his vengeance, dragging enemies from across the mortal world into his dark realm. Among the captured, the rogues Gotrek and Felix fight, battling to escape the Prince of Pleasure's domain. Only destroying his arcane portals would weaken the Dark Prince's grip. Yet those protecting them will demand a toll in blood. No matter the price, Gotrek and Felix cannot fall. For their survival will deal Slaanesh a deadly blow and prove vital in the adventures to come.
Alright folks, unfortunately we've got ourselves another replay desync, which means I'm gonna be fighting this battle manually, and it is unfortunate because we've got a Realm of Chaos map in the Realm of Slaanesh, which always looks bloody fantastic, so I was really banking on this one working. Oh well, what can you do? Manually being necessary is necessary, so that's what we'll do. I think I will save, however, the next quest until the release build comes out, just in case the release build is in fact more stable than this one is, and we don't have to deal with that anymore. But for now, we'll play the quest like this. Now, speaking of the quest, we've got 3 objectives. Well, technically 1 objective, but 3 separate units making part of that. There are 3 Alluruses on the field, each commanding a Chaos Gate, and until the Alluruses are done for, every Chaos Gate will infinitely spawn enemies. Now, the big issue isn't that, it's the fact that this is an escort quest. Gotrek and Felix are up here, and they need to survive, so we're gonna have to keep them alive. And thus, we're going to have to send our troops more forward than we otherwise normally might. Well, the Slaaneshi like it when you're forward, so everybody's happy. Anyway, let's, at least they're happy, I mean. Let's get set up here. Obviously, this would normally be off screen, but we'll deal. Alright, let's get to you guys. Vanguard deployed. We'll need to move you to defend Gotrek and Felix, more or less. Let's make you guys part of their group and act as melee when those guys are in trouble. Knights, you can back everybody up. And then we'll have our mainline guns, which are going to be pretty darn important, up in the center. Though now the Hawkland long rifles, which are so long range, don't necessarily need to be as close to everybody as everybody else. Yeah, too bad they can't Vanguard deploy, because that might be nice. Yeah, I think I like that. Alrighty, then let's group everybody up. You're going to be group 3. You, other than the Hawklanders, can be group 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, I'm almost tempted to say, 8 and 7. Mortars, can you target the enemy immediately? Indeed you can, and you shall. You shall and you can. The rest of that, I believe, is good, and if I'm forgetting something, it's too late now, because let's do it. You go here, you go here, you rush forward, you guys sort of go forward as well. You guys can set yourselves up, you guys can go get a few shots into the enemy Seekers. Let's fire on the blob here. Elspeth, I would like you to get your dragon breath immediately on that exalted keeper of secrets if you can. And if you please. Turn off skirmish mode, don't rush there. And then turn skirmish mode back on. Leech. And back off. Alright, you guys don't get caught by that, don't get caught by that. Oh man, we're gonna have to send in our knights earlier than I expected, or at the very least earlier than I remember doing. I saw some other cav moving around, some secret chariots. Let's go try to target those. Let's also pop a purple sun right there. We need to gun down the enemy lure, but we also want to clear the garbage away. Alright, the rest of that looks pretty okay to me. No, you guys can back off. Knights, I think we'll send you there. And everything else is more or less fine. You guys, target... Anything else coming in? Nothing super threatening. Alright, you guys, you know what? Turn off auto fire. I'm kind of afraid of them killing off our own troops. Frankly, the cannon is kind of also a menace, so... Let's be careful about that, shall we? Yeah, you guys gun everybody down. Otherwise, we'll just kill off Gotrek ourselves. Mostly because, well, I suppose we could kill Felix off as well. Gotrek is no armor, obviously, since he's a slayer, so he's kind of constantly under threat. Let's move you all forward, and I think we can move you guys forward as well. Artillery, you got new targets by the looks of it, and ooh, well, you got fiends for you all. Elspeth, do you want to move in on them, or are you okay? You're okay. Alright, let's move our melee in a little bit more. I'm kind of wary of those fiends. Everybody else is... close the distance a teensy bit. Especially you. And artillery, keep on firing. I want those witch elves to stop. Alright, Gotrek and Felix still relatively okay right in the center. Keep advancing, everybody, because it's apparently necessary, even though we normally might not want to. Let's pop a non-overcast purple sun of Zeres right here just to try to interfere with the enemy, essentially. Get a little bit of area denial going. And at the same time, a burning head right through those lines. Okay, Gotrek's starting to take a little bit of hurt, though he does have healing because of Felix, so what we'll want to do is most likely to just sort of send a bunch more troops forward. So, advance please, advance. I think you're going to join the melee now. Our knights haven't really joined the melee, but they can if they want to. Cannon, target the enemy Elurus. I'd actually love to get a dragon breath on her, but not sure that we can right now. Knights, join the fray. If we can lift off, we could do some work. And you guys are all going to fire on this now. And oh, we just took a massive volley to our own knights. Yeah, that was my bad. And okay, I'm trying to target a spell here. Pop Doom and Darkness on these guys. Make them melt away. So, it's not even needed. Spirit Leech on you. Everybody else is looking okay. The knights have suffered damage from our own units, but what can you do? Stop firing. Stop firing. Refire. Actually, don't bother firing on that. Fire on the Elurus, so let's back up the Sigmar Suns. Knights, you can freely back off. You guys can fire here. Everybody else keep gunning enemies down. There is one more Elurus that remains, but I think everybody here is going to need to advance. And no, okay, they're heading directly into combat again. Alright, let's get a volley from that dragon breath. Actually, no, don't. It'll probably kill off our own troops. Too late now. Alright, you fire on this, you fire on this. Everybody else has moved forward. Knights, you may have to apply yourselves once more, but everybody else is looking okay. Snipers are good. Sigmar Suns are looking okay. But I think you can now back up. You're sufficiently damaged. I'm probably suffering too much damage from our own troops, to be perfectly frank, but whatever. Alright, you guys... you're forward enough. Moving to melee for company militia, let's use Dark Walker and then activate Spirit Leech. Artillery, stop firing now, and I thought I told you guys to run. I don't really care about their survival, mind you. Alright, you guys just charge into the back of these units. It's kind of hard to take a battle seriously once you've already won it. And once there's no consequences as well, but, you know. Alright, a little bit of damage on our Sigmar Suns, but I think with 7 troops there is still liable to survive. Let's get a Spirit Leech going on that Elurus, if I can target her. There we go. Alright, and then there is one more Elurus on the field. Cannonry and stuff, you can move forward a little bit, you can move forward as well. In fact, you and snipers can directly target those oncoming fiends. Other handgunners are fine. Kind of shocked that our Free Company militia are still alive. I think I did more damage to them when I actually played due to, well, once again, targeting our own units. But it was always bound to happen to some degree. Elurus still hasn't moved. In fact, I would like you guys to back off and fight those fiends, rather than rushing forward like idiots. That would be much preferred. Alright, artillery, fire on these guys. Fiends are nearly done, and it's gonna do a little bit of damage to our Free Company militia, finally. I just expect them to take damage. Okay, we got more of the enemy arriving, and we can target the artillery at them. Handgunners reposition, knights position, you forward. You guys are now too far away to fire, so you can get into range if you please. Group 7, our snipers, target those fiends. Elspeth, you may need to come down on them. Let's pop a, I don't know, Soul Blight. I feel like I should use spells, even though it's not needed. And, oh, whoa, Gotrek, no. Don't fight a bunch of demonettes on your own. Honestly, I thought you'd be fighting the much more threatening units of the enemy here. Alright, I guess we're sending our knights forward. Probably could have sent the rest of our free company forward as well, and spears, you can go forward, you guys can all go forward. Artillery, no more need to fire as you'll damage our own units. At this point in time, everybody else continue advancing. And is that Allurus yet ready? That doesn't look like it. I guess we'll be doing a little bit of melee fighting. Why not? Alright, reposition you guys, reposition you. Maybe get some handgunners firing over on this side. Oh, it looks like our snipers have run out of ammunition. Interesting. Another Soul Blight not ready. Alright, then just stay in melee and fight. And Free Company Militia, I guess you can move into melee as well. Fight with the Knights of the Rose, not that the casualties are relevant, and get a couple of volleys on the enemy blobs here. Gotrek is quite hurt, but he does have that self-healing ability of his, so I'm not super concerned about him. He has like the thing that the Hellpit Abomination has, or at least something similar to it, wherein if he takes sufficient damage, he kind of just revives himself. Alright, our knights are quite hurt in the middle of that blob. I'd like for Elspeth to go for the enemy lord, although she's having a bit of a tough time with it. You, Free Company, have finally suffered sufficient damage and can back off. And now it's just a matter of killing off the enemy lord. Minus 16 leadership. Let's do that. In combination with whatever else we're doing. Oh, you guys are sufficiently hurt now. Let's back you off. And artillery, you can stop firing. Alright, looks like the battle should just be ours. We can watch the last of the enemy Alluruses die in the middle of the blob. And though we were forced to fight this in a way that we normally might not, at least we had something of a different battle early in the campaign, and I mean that in the sense that later in the campaign we'll obviously have armies that function very differently from Elspeth's, which is primarily ranged focused. And we got a close victory. You may call it victory, I call it fortunate. But, yeah, not that bad. We got a little bit of extra damage on our Sigmar's Sons and our, and one of our Knights of the Black Rose in this particular version of the fight. But obviously, I wasn't taking it as seriously, and at the same time, I was a little bit distracted by, you know, doing the comments at the same time. Anyway. Alright, well, we did manage to pull it off, and it was probably the most difficult of the battles we've had so far in this campaign. Kind of unsurprising to some degree, at least to the degree that I thought that the Slaaneshi would be a good counter to our army. Unfortunately, though, this battle was difficult for all the wrong reasons. What is it with game designers and escort quests? Just stop it. Seriously, just stop it. Why escort quests? And in a game like Total War as well, if we're gonna be forced to have a unit survive, you gotta give us control of them, otherwise it's silly. And yes, I know if you give control of a unit that needs to survive, you can do cheesy stuff like put them all the way in the corner, but I'd prefer that than having them run into the enemy like a bunch of idiots. And well, okay, fine, to some degree Gotrek would do that, but nonetheless, I still find it silly. At the end of the day, though, we survived and we got some damage. I mean, all of our infantry, our melee infantry got hurt, and then our poor units of outriders, which got caught by those seekers, got damaged, but otherwise we're relatively okay. We can heal ourselves up, but we are still ending the turn, so I think we're okay. Though we won't heal to full. It's still 1,200 gold that we could spend for our economy, so I think we're gonna do that. Let's pardon the captives. And yes, we have seduce units, budget minus 50% for enemy Slaneshi armies in local region. That'll help when we inevitably end up fighting Azazel all the way up here, though I now hesitate to remember. We have to kill off Sylvania and the Fecundites. Well, Sylvania is on the way, and the Fecundites are kind of near to Azazel. And for this, we have to occupy blah blah blah, and then keep the Empire in a good place, which we're working on. Plus, do all of Elspeth's fancy personal goals. Anyway, ooh, Zintler's Reichsguard. Nice pickup. Not so sure about putting them in this army, mind you, but nonetheless. The Tattersouls and quest successful. Unlock Gotrek and Felix. Plus the bonus casualty or punishment time, sure, will help us out, especially inside a settlement. It will take 1 or 2 turns depending on how many to hit Waldenhof. And are Gotrek and Felix now permanent, or wait, they've been adjusted, I know that, but I don't know whether they are now permanent acting as heroes, because if they are, we can start building up our second army around them, and then whatever basic units we have remaining here, and then sort of slowly, as we replace Elspeth's army with better troops, with Amethyst Order troops, then we slowly just start transferring them to the other. Of course, it won't be the same kind of army, but with all the new types of units, we'll have like 3 or 4 different gun armies that will act relatively different from each other, so there's that. Plus, we gotta have armies that hunt down schematics. After all, I'm sure we'll need plenty more of them as we go. Anyway, we're obviously out of time, and I am going to have to call this episode here. Next time around, we'll probably complete that gunsmith into the foundry and hopefully livery, and unlock Ulrika and unlock Bruckner, and is there anything else here? Yeah, well, unlock Bruckner and Ulrika, and maybe do the quest battle for Death's Timekeeper as well. I'll think about it. We'll see. I generally like to save those because of the casualty or punishment rewards, but if we have to travel too long, we'll see. On the other hand, we can simply build up a Garden of Morr at like Middenheim and use it as a base to attack the Brass Keep and all that's going on up here, so that's nice. You gotta love teleportation stuff. And Ackendorf would also be in another good position, though. I imagine we will... It's only in Imperial territories that we can build these, right? It would be nice to be able to build one at Ackendorf. I'm just not sure that we're physically actually able to do so, but we shall see. Together with whether we should attack Drake or not next time, I guess, though, it's looking like we might have to. At least to get to 100 Imperial Authority. And, oh, you know what? We'll check this. Ostermark, Wasteland. It doesn't say anything about controlling... Wait. All provinces. This is the Ostermark province, meaning we have to control it via vassals or military allies. There is potential for getting Drake as a military ally. It's possible. Especially as we can probably get her to fight orcs and other such nonsense, as she doesn't like them. I don't know, I'll think about it. On the other hand, she hates Kislev, Kislev hates her, and we do want to be allied with Kislev, and probably get a few Kislev units, as they do fit nicely with Imperial troops, and they have some of their own guns, like little Groms and war sleds, that would fit nicely with us as well. Anyway, I'm calling it here. More Elspeth to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially for the threshold, if you're into that sort of thing for the hour-long episode. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.